Good afternoon. Today I would like to talk about doping practices in sport, focusing on current trends, scientific evidence, and ethical challenges. The sport is often associated with fairness, discipline, and human excellence. In the second slide, as we can see, there's an important question: why doping threatens fairness and welfare? Doping is a measure for three main reasons. Uh, First, doping creates an unfair competitive advantage. Sport is based on equal rules, and when athletes use prohibition substances, they want to improve their performance unfairly. The second is doping involves serious health risks like cardiovascular, hormone, or mental health. The third is doping leads to loss of trust in sport. There's a famous sentence: behind every medal there may be a question mark. This question mark represents doubt about fairness, health, and integrity. So doping is not only a medical issue, also it's a social problem. In another slide, according to the World Anti-Doping Agency, doping is defined as the use of prohibited substances or method to enhance performance unfairly. Athletes typically aim to improve strength, endurance, and recovery. World Anti-Doping Agency, founded in 1999, coordinated global anti-doping efforts through the WADA code, which harmonized rules across countries and sports. This harmonization is so important because elite sports is international without any global rules, so enforcement would be inconsistent. As we can see, there are several main categories of performance-enhancing substances. For muscle and strength, athletes may use anabolic steroids or hormone growth hormones. For endurance, athletes they can use erythropoietin or EPO that's increased red blood cell production. Blood doping method aim to improve the oxygen transport. All substances target are different physiologically system, but the goal is always the same: improve performance. There is a question: do performance enhancing drugs really work? Scientific studies suggest that they can produce measurable physiological change. In 1996, Behanson and colleagues, they showed a testosterone administration increased muscle mass by 6 kg under controlled conditions. Actually, studies in EPU demonstrated increase in VO2 max of around 12 until 17% in cyclists. And some endurance tests even reports improvements up to the 54% in the time to exhausting trials. However, the laboratory results do not automatically translate into a real competition outcomes, because psychological pressure, techniques, and skills also play important roles in a real competition. So performance in real sport, it's so complex. As I mentioned at the first of the presentation, there are several health risks when we used a doping. The first one was cardiovascular. That includes hypertension, thrombosis, structural heart change, and in some cases may lead to sudden cardiac events. In psychological long-term, steroids may cause aggression, mood instability, depression, and increase anxiety. In a hormonal disruption, can cause infertility, menstrual disturbances. So in conclusion, so the pursuit of short-term performance gains may lead to long-term consequences, long-term medical consequences actually. Now, how anti-doping works? Based on 3 elements: rules, testing, sanctions. The WADA established strict liability. It means all athletes are the responsibles for any prohibited substances found in their body, regardless of intent. The testing includes in and out of competitions. Actually, all athletes have a biological passport, ABP. ABP monitors biological markers over time. It means instead of detecting a specific substances, it identifies abnormal change in athlete biological profile. So in some cases, if violations confirmed, sanctions and penalty may include a multi-year bannings, disqualification, and stripped titles. Regarding to the sanctions, I would like to mention one of the most well-known doping cases. They called Lance Armstrong. Actually, he was a highly successful professional cyclist and multiple tour in France in 2012. But after long investigations in US World Anti-Doping Agency, the evidence the evidence showed a measurable doping in his team, and the result was he was stripped of his title and banning for the rest of his life. And you have to consider that maybe doping is not always an individual decision. Maybe it will exist in the culture of the team or institution. We don't know. And what do you think about why athletes should take this risk? The first reason, because of the performance pressure. That's a major factor, because elite athletes involves intense competitions and limit career duration. The second is financial. Financial means sponsorship contracts, and national expectation may increase the pressure. Another interesting sentence means it's everyone is doing this. Everyone is doing this. This is also perception, which can normalize rule-breaking behavior. And maybe the parents and the coach are the next responsible for the doping in youth sports. So doping decisions shaped by broader structure and social forces. In the next slide, as we can see, therapeutic use exemptions allow to athletes to use a certain medications for medical reasons. However, I should mention that this creates a tension between medical necessity and fairness. Also the requirements allow testing, but also there is an important concern, that's privacy. So if the testing is necessary, it will increase privacy concern for each athlete. Also, there is one gap. The gap is scientific innovations in doping methods may develop faster than the detection techniques. You can read this slide by yourself. And in the last slide, as a conclusion, I would like to mention that doping undermines fairness, athletes, health, and public trust. Some performance-enhancing substances do produce measurable physiological change, but they affect for sure in health and health risks. And also the effective prevention requires coordinated governance, scientific advancement, and high education. But at the end, all athletes compete in a system where they try to perform there. So following moral rules that keep competitions fair and trustworthy. And that was my presentation. Thank you for attention, and enjoy your holiday.